Summertime training. How do we get better and develop our game during the summer? Well, I'm gonna help you guys out. Okay, I'm give you a couple things to think about. Um, so first, I'm gonna lay out some things that you can kind of build a blueprint around on how you can train. But then I'm gonna give you kind of more of a detailed breakdown depending on where you are, who you are, where you're at in your career. So first and foremost, with training, getting ready to train and prepare for our game during the summer. The first thing you need to sit down and think about. The first thing, what is the goal? What am I getting better at? What is the skill that I'm going to develop and work on this summer? We say, "Oh, I'm gonna work on my shooting this summer." Well, what about your shooting? Like, it's cool to say that, but now, like, it's like a big overarching skill. You can work on your ball handling, your finishing, your shooting, your defense. That's probably like the 4 things: ball handling, shooting, finishing, defense. Yeah. Or you might need to get better in the weight room. Let's say those are the 5 things. And you get stronger or whatever in the weight room. Well, what are the things we're gonna be focused on? What is the thing that we're going to be doing within those things? So those are the overarching skills, like the big skills. What are the subcategories of those skills we're gonna get better at? So what about your shooting? Are you gonna get better come in, catch, and shoot? Are you gonna get better shooting off the dribble? Is a certain area of the floor to get better at shooting at? Are we working on our finishing with our weekend? Working on finishing uh, against taller defenders? Are we working against finishing against contact? Are we working on the finishing against 2 defenders? Are we working on our ball handling, dealing with more pressure, ball handling um, when it comes to taking the ball 94 feet? Working on maybe you're in a situation where you're the best player, you get double teamed a lot. How do we work around that? There's so many different things within these skills that we need to work on to get developed at. But we just say, "I'm gonna get better at my defense." Well, what about your defense? Because if you can lock on that more than just, "Oh, I need to get better at my defense," you can know a lot clearer of what you're working on and if you're working or not. Because when you get back to the season, you know that, "Man, I got better at this thing this summer because I detailed this specific thing." So you know without a shadow of a doubt that you got better. And how do you decide which skill you're gonna work on? How do you decide what's the focus gonna be? That's what I tell my players. When we're looking at our summer, we get back to school around August, or you get back into the season around October, November. When you look back and say, "Man, I know for a fact this year, this season, I'm coming into a better shape. I'm coming into this better than I was last year. It's gonna prepare me to be a better player than I was last year, or get more opportunities, get more minutes, or maybe start this year, maybe play more this year, or start to get more opportunities, or I can finish the game." What is the thing that you'll know without a shadow of a doubt, "I got better at this thing, and it prepared me to be better situation." If we only worked on this one thing, I don't say 1 to 3 things max. Depends on where you're at. Anyway, 1 to 3 things max. I got better at this thing. I know coach can have to look at me, I'm gonna make the team this year. Or coach is gonna look at me and I'm gonna start this year. Coach is gonna look at me, I'm gonna get my minutes. I'm gonna look at her as a finisher of the game this year. What is that thing for you? Because a lot of us just work on skills and believe we're getting better, but then coach is like, "You can already finish with your right hand. You suck with your left hand. I can't trust you going left now." Or, "Yeah, you can dribble the ball, but anytime I get a certain amount of pressure on you from a smaller defender, you cough the ball up." Or, "Yeah, you can, dribble, but now you like just amp it up son, get a little bit cleaner handles." So what is the thing you're gonna work on? What's the goal of working on this thing this summer that we know we're gonna get better at? And I know without a shadow of a doubt, I got better this year. Next thing is to figure out is the time. Because we all think, "Oh, I'm gonna sit here and just work on this the whole summer," but you have a time frame. You might have other sports you're playing, you might be playing travel ball or AAU this summer, you might have vacation with your family, you might have, a gym where you only have a certain amount of time that you can train in the gym by yourself. You need to weigh all these things out for the time we're gonna do. Well, am I gonna work for 3 months? Am I gonna work for 1 month? Because of whatever schedule we have. You may have some church camp things, band camp stuff, you might have other obligations you have to fulfill. So look at the time frame you have to actually work on these things because it's gonna be a little bit different depending on the goal that you have. So if you have 1 month to work on this thing, it's gonna look totally different from how we work on it if we have 4 months or 3 months. If you only have 1 month, you're gonna put a little more gas to the pressure and you're gonna skip some baby steps that you might have wanted to have before versus not having the extra time. So you have more time, you can go more fine tune, more details of things. You can go more in depth with, uh, how do I go from A to B to C? So you might have A to E, if you have 4 months, but you might have A to C if you only have 1 month. So the time frame which you have to work with matters a lot too. And this is the next thing is very important. And I don't think we think about this enough when talking about our goals and our plans. What is the trade-off here? What am I sacrificing? Like if I'm going to put more time to the gym, what thing I'm giving up? I think we if I have a ring on each finger and I can only fit uh something on one hand, right? I can only fit one ring on each finger. At some point, I have to take off a ring to fit the other one on. So what am I giving up? Which ring am I giving up? Am I giving up a little bit more time this summer on playing video games? Am I giving up a little bit of sleep in the morning or a little bit in the afternoon? Am I going to cut off a sport to put more into basketball? Am I going to sit back and maybe not do vacation? We have to give up something because we only have 24 hours in a day, and you have certain things you can commit so much to. So you can't sit here and say add more, not take anything off my plate. Your plate can only hold so much. So what's the thing you're gonna sacrifice? What's the thing you're gonna trade off in exchange for this thing we're working on too? Next, when you start doing that, you have to rank and prioritize what matters the most to you. So we're working on, like I said before, if you have 3 goals, what's the most important goal we're gonna work on this year? What's the one thing, if I got better at this year, I feel good in? So once again, you have a limited amount of time. So if you say you want to work on shooting off the dribble this year, you wanna work on your defense, and you wanna work on your finishing. Well, which is the one thing that matters the most? And if you wanna work on the weight side, what's the one thing that matters the most to where if I for some reason I only could only work on this, I feel good about myself. So if you get the biggest rock out the way saying, "I need to work on my ball handling this year, be able to handle more pressure, become smoother. Need to work on shooting off the dribble, you work on my defense." Which one means the most to where if I could only work on one thing, if I had, you know, for a reason my workout got cut short, or for whatever reason my stomach got caught short, or whatever, something happens, like life gets thrown in the way. What's the one thing I know if I got better at, I feel good at? And this thing, if I don't work as much on it, it's cool. You feel me? Like I'm not disappointed in it, I'm not too hurt by it, but I'd love if I did have the chance to work on it. So, um, I want you guys to weigh that out and prioritize what means the most to you. And last but not least, what's the plan? Because like I said, life's gonna go throw things in your way. Life's gonna happen. So how do I still make sure that I get this goal done and work on things of life happen? So your alarm doesn't work and you miss the morning workout. Okay, this sucks. Now I have to so you got a summer job. So I have to work out after school now and shift my workout around. So if your schedule was to lift weights before work or before summer school or whatever and school work afterwards, depending on what you prioritize, you might say, "Okay, this afternoon, instead of doing this court work, I'm gonna do more weight room work," if that's what the priority to you. What's to be the plan B when things don't go my way and something has to happen? If it's raining that day, my car doesn't work, my mom can't take me that day, what's the plan B? How do I still get my workout in to get better in spite of things not going my way this time? Have a plan B in case. So those are the main things I want you guys to, like, have a blueprint to build to figure out your summer schedule, your summer workouts for you. So now Imma give you one more step. So if you kinda don't care about that part, you wanna get, like, specific details. Take your notes out right here. Pull your phone out, go to the notes app, like, start writing this down now. So, if you're in middle school, and this is, like, more of you playing other sports, here's a layout of what you can do to get better this summer. So, when it comes to the weight room stuff, you wanna get better in the weight room, you need to get better, fitness and conditioning wise. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or just 3 days a week, what you can do full body workouts. And then, uh but you wanna partner that or blend that around what your schedule you're already looking at. And if you're playing another sport and you are doing some strength and conditioning work, then just take one of those days off or just take that out, whatever. But if you're not, throw that in there. But if you're playing a sport and you're doing, high intensity days, pair those with the high intensity days. So if you're doing a lot of conditioning that day, you did a lot of running that day, that's a full court, or maybe you're playing football, that's like a scrimmage day, pair your strength and conditioning day with that. Um So you wanna have your very, very high days, high intense days. You wanna have your low intense days where you're not doing as much, not as much pounding, not as much, wear and tear on your body. And so you're able to pair the strength conditioning, the 3, full body workout days with your other sports days or whatever days you have more intensity work on. And if it comes to the skills part, once or twice a time, you wanna keep a basketball in your hand, not too much to where once or twice a week. I don't know if I said that right. To where you're not, you're fine tuning skills. You don't want to do overdo and stuff. You don't want to go worn out with being on the court all the time. But just once or twice a week to get the ball in your hands, get a good feel for things, and just maintain enough to where when you get back to the season, you get back to doing other things, you get back to basketball season, you didn't lose too much skill, but you developed enough over time to where you kept things maintained enough to where you can hop back out where you left off before and build up from there. But now, if you're in high school or if you're in middle school and you're playing, that's the only thing you have to do. Now you can get a little more uh, game time. You can feel a little more intensity to it. So, first off, you're doing solo. You have two different options here. Well, I'll give you two. So, you can either do A, three full body workouts. So, you still stick with the Monday, Wednesday, Friday full body workout. But then you can do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday as lighter days. So, you might do light jogs or just a cardio day, maybe a core day, depending on how you want to flip it, depending on what your life and days looking like. But you can do 3 days a week of full body stuff. You do 3 days off, or 3 days is not mobility, yoga, meditation type of things. Or you can split it this way: you're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, lower body, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, upper body. You can do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, legs, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, upper body. You can do Monday, Friday, legs. These so many different things you can do, but you wanna split it up to where you have higher days where you're doing a lot more intense work and then lower days where you're doing a lot not as intense work. However you wanna spend depends on you and your schedule, depending on what your time can do, how much you access the gyms and all that other stuff. But it's so much of a bigger blueprint that you can have. But for your skill side, you're doing a lot more. You're doing anywhere from 4 to 6 or 7 days a week. I prefer everybody has a day off, depending on what your spiritual beliefs are. I believe taking that Sunday off will do a lot more help than it will harm. So taking that day off of just chilling from the court, chilling from the gym. If you do have to do something, just mandatory for your brain to work, and do some light spot shooting and stuff, do some light ball handling, stationary stuff, something you can still add to the game without doing too much wear and tear. But, adding that to your game is gonna be a lot more beneficial, but then making sure that you're not burning yourself out to where you have your very high days, you have your lower days to where you're working, but you're not burning yourself out. And then for both groups, hooping once or twice a week would be very dope for you. So back to the middle school group, you might do one day where you're doing like some little skill sets with everybody yourself, shooting around on the court by yourself. But then the other day you might be hooping. You might play 2-on-2, 3-on-3, fives with your boys. And if you're in a high school group where that's all you're doing, you hooping once or twice a week. So that Saturday might be the hoop session. So depending on your schedule, depending on what you have access to, determine all those things. But that's how you can lay out your blueprint for the summer of training, getting better this year. So, hope you guys enjoyed it, man. Hope you guys liked it. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If I missed something, if you have more questions about it, more details, questions about how you can get this better for you and your game, drop it in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. See you.